Should I turn to this one then? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, okay. For those of you who are new to me, I'm Doraynne, Breedlove. Welcome. Welcome. Glad you're here. And please come back, because Reverend Kim is freaking amazing. All right, so I'm sure you've heard this saying that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Yes, some of you heard that. Well, I've heard a different variation of that. And it's the one that I'm working with right now. And it is, we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience in a human body. We are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience in a human body. And so for me, when I think about that, I am acknowledging that everything then is spiritual. And it's easy for me, and for you as well, when we are in our heightened state of that spiritual experience. It could be when my granddaughter's out there. But when I look at her and I connect with who she is, that innocence and that curiosity and that openness, I feel like I'm in that spiritual experience. And many times when I am in the middle of this beautiful display of the divine through a sunset, and the change of the colors and the hues and the brilliance and what it does, I'm having a spiritual experience. Those are palpable and they are evident, this spiritual experience. But when I think of myself as a spiritual being having a spiritual experience as a human body, in a human body, that includes all those moments where I may not feel that kind of connection spiritually. In the no mud and no lotus part, the no mud part, the mud part, the muddy muck, that muddy muck part. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. When we are suffering in some way, when we're challenged in some way, it's difficult to see that this too is a spiritual experience. Thich Nhat Hanh, who was a Buddhist, Vietnamese Buddhist monk, wrote the book, No Mud, No Lotus. And in his book, he talks about how the lotus flower can only grow in muddy water. And that our deepest joys and wisdom come from embracing and understanding our pain. Yeah, think about that. The lotus flower grows and thrives in muddy water. The seed settles into the mud and it takes root in the soil. The stem extends up toward the surface. So all of that can represent that journey from darkness to light. And the lotus, this is fascinating, is equipped with unique properties. It has special air channels in its stem that transports oxygen from the surface above to the roots below. So even in the poorest of environments where there's no oxygen or it's very oxygen deprived, it is able to get what it needs through that system. But there's more. The lotus petals and leaves have a protective coating on it. And so what that does, it repels dirt and water so that it's able to self-clean, and the flower, the lotus blossom, remains pristine and pure. So The mud is essential to the growth. The mud is essential to our growth, spiritually speaking. And it's through our work with those challenges that we become more and more aware of who we are at the core of our being. Because we are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings. We are love. We are joy. We are peace. We are light. We are all those qualities. And so we come back to our remembering when we use suffering as a stepping stone toward our awakening, our remembering that we are all of that. Because it's inherently in us. Just like the lotus flower, inherently all, it is equipped, we are equipped with everything to thrive. Yet, all of us have had those moments when we found ourselves in some forgetting. And the suffering is real. Whether it be physical pain, emotional distress, grief, loneliness, or any other sort of suffering. Because we're swimming in this life experience. It's mucky muck sometimes. It's mucky muck. But here you are today. Here each of you are today. Each one of you here today. You made it through. You made it through some really, really challenging times. The times that asked you to reach deep down inside. Where you were called to do some kind of work. Something, some aspect of yourself. And it was hard. And it hurt. That breakup. That death of someone that you loved so much. The financial crisis you went through. The overwhelming sense of loneliness. The illness. The addiction. That difficult relationship. The list goes on. And you grew from it. You grew from it. Perhaps you developed a greater sense of wisdom, clarity about something, made new decisions, took different steps to change. Maybe you developed resilience or compassion for yourself or others. You grew. Your inner greatness and some part of your divine nature revealed itself. That part got fine-tuned, blossomed. The wound is where the light gets in, revealing the masterpiece just beneath your skin. You transformed yourself, and it took that spiritual experience to make it happen. This is life, the reality that we are those spiritual beings, having the spiritual experience. And as Thich Nhat Hanh would say, no mud, no lotus. Lotuses cannot exist without mud. And the mud and the lotus are two parts of the same coin, two sides. I found myself, after my second marriage, going through a divorce and having moments of panic, of confusion, of questioning my abilities. I'd never been on my own before. I went from my father's home to getting married and then having a home with my first husband. And then when that ended, remarrying and having a home with my second husband. And then when that ended, here I was now in this place where I was taking care of myself. And that was a new experience for me. And how now I see how beautifully I was set up to grow. And the universe conspired so well for me to grow through this that I attracted another partner who would have nothing to do with taking care of me that way. Pretty cool, huh? Not at the time, but that I see how wonderful that was. I needed to grow. I needed to confront my limiting beliefs about myself. I needed to bust through paradigms that were familiar or cultural. It was that part of me that wanted to reveal more of who I am that was inherent in me. And it took that for me to get there. Life was indeed conspiring for my good. I rose from the mucky-muck depths of the dark and blossomed into a fully sufficient, financially stable woman. It helped shape who I am today. And my trust and faith grew along with my consciousness. Going through this personal transformation was my spiritual experience. And here's what I want to say. It's not like a day. That spiritual experience can happen over months. It could happen over years. And you may be going through one right now. You may be going through one right now. If you are, I hold you in tenderness. I know it's hard. I know it hurts. And I also know that life is conspiring for your good. You may not feel that way right now. You may have glimpses of it. You may be intellectualizing it rather than actually feeling it. It's okay. But this is what Thich Nhat Hanh would say. Rather than resisting negative emotions, we can hold our suffering with mindfulness, just as a loving parent holds a crying baby. This practice soothes our pain and allows us to investigate its source. And as we recognize suffering with compassion, it begins to loosen its grip. And one effective technique that Thich Nhat Hanh offers is naming our emotions. Hello, sadness. I see you, anger. By acknowledging our feelings rather than suppressing them, we create space for healing. At some point, if you're willing to see and are open to it, you will find the gift of this experience that you might be going through, just as you can identify the past, those experiences you went through, and there were those gifts. And finding those gifts, and for me, that I shared, I find that I am capable. I can do it. I am deserving. I am supported by life. I am worthy. And ultimately, I have an immense gratitude. I have immense gratitude. That's on the other side for you as well. When you see the gifts, you can feel that gratitude. Your challenges, your pain, your suffering is not without meaning, because it's a teacher, it's a guide, and as you remain present, which is what mindfulness is about, you have the opportunity to move through that mucky muck, transforming it and yourself into a source of a spiritual being having a spiritual experience in a human body. Your roots are embedded with nutrient-rich soil. You are loved. You are supported. In the glow of your own light, your petals open wide. You bloom right where you are. I behold the magnificence in you. I witness your beauty and your radiance. And I honor your holiness. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you. So I invite you now to close your eyes as we move into meditation. And if you feel comfortable to do so, yes. Closing your eyes is nice because it allows you to have your inner vision heightened. So let's take 3 collective breaths together. Let's breathe in deeply and hold it just for a moment and release with an audible beautiful. Let's do that again. Breathe in. Hold. And let's breathe out with that sigh. Nice. One last time. Breathe in. Hold. And let it all go. And now, as you find your comfortable, steady breathing cycle, breathing in, breathing out, steadily and easily. Allow your inhalation and exhalation bring you to a deeper feeling of connection, of relaxation, of opening like a lotus. Breathing in, breathing out. No stress, no strain. Feeling in this moment your well-being. Now, using your imagination, see yourself walking on a path that is leading you up a mountain. See yourself taking each step with ease and intention as you mindfully take those steps. As you walk this mountain path, you can feel a slow, steady incline with each step. Now imagine up ahead, you can see that there is an overlook where you can stop and rest. You make it to the overlook and find a comfortable rock to sit on. As you gaze upon the scene before you, you see the mountain range of its peaks and valleys. And you can feel the sense of wonder and awe from this beautiful sight that you're beholding from this particular vantage point. Imagine this now, sitting, overlooking a beautiful scene of peaks and valleys. And you can reflect on your own life with its peaks and valleys, with its ups and downs, joys and sorrows. And as you sit here with your spiritual eyes, as a spiritual being, you can embrace the perfection of it all. The perfection of your life as it has unfolded to this very moment you find yourself right now. It's all been a part of what made you you. Every bit was needed to bring you to where you are today. You grew in understanding and awareness through all your challenging moments and all your breakthroughs. You transformed your life. And as you sit here, you can feel the immense gratitude for all you have gone through, all you've experienced. There is joy here. There is peace here. There is appreciation for the lived experiences of your life right here. Right here. Let us breathe that in right now together. And as we release, let us take this time, this expanded awareness that we have brought to ourselves, to call in any names of those who may be going through their valley moments, their mud moments in life right now. We call in those names of people we wish to bless as we hold them in their place of pain or suffering or challenge.